Hello and welcome to Policy Watch, your packed snapshot of the week's biggest business stories, their context, their relevance and policy impact. I'm Govindraj. The economy might be reeling from the after effects of demonetization and a general global slowdown, but India's stock markets are buzzing away. The Sensex has now touched a near 6-month high around 29,892 with all-time highs near now, particularly for the Nifty now at 8,939. The question we're asking is, what is driving the markets to such strong levels, and more importantly, can this run continue for a while? And finally, could this be the best time to speed up disinvestments of public sector units? To discuss all of this, I'm joined by Sudeep Bandapadhyay, Chairman of IndiTrade Capital, and Ashish Kyal of Waves Strategy Advisors. Thank you both gentlemen for joining me. Sudeep, let me begin with you. So what's driving this?
Well, I think, Govind, two things. One is the liquidity. There is enough and more liquidity sitting in the system, both internationally as well as domestic. People are looking at equity markets seriously because of this liquidity. The second thing I would say is that globally, if you see, the equity markets have been doing well once again. And the entire emerging markets, PAC has performed very well. Look at Brazil, they've gone up about 20%. Some of the emerging markets have done even better than India. India did, as you rightly said, got a hit in the market post demonetization, and we have caught on. But I think still there is some way to go.
So we recovered 13%, as I understand, from the demonetization loss, and 9% just in 2017.
That's right. That's right. So I think the question is, emerging markets are flavor of the season. There is enough and more liquidity. India, people realize that we are, irrespective of the estimate, we will clock between 6.5% to 7.5% GDP growth, which is great in today's context. So I think money is coming to India. The second thing I would say, corporate performance, the way we were envisaging when the demonetization happened, it wasn't so bad. Yeah, some results were bad, but by and large, whatever was the expectation, the corporate performance has been much better than that. So I think that gives the confidence to the investors to come back to the market and buy with vengeance.
So are you saying this in some ways is a continuation of a secular trend?
Absolutely.
Or a sort of more powerful relief rally because of lesser than expected impact of demonetization?
Two things. I think it's a combination of both, Govind. One is, it is definitely a kind of a relief rally, and second is a continuation of trend, both. Because relief, continuation of trend, because markets globally have been going up.
Right.
So I think that trend remains. Second, Indian corporate performance has been much better than what was expected. So it's kind of a reaffirmation of the faith of the investors in Indian capital market, Indian corporates.
And particularly the markets. Okay. Ashish, just your first thoughts on what's really driving the kind of performance we're seeing in the stock markets, particularly in the last few months?
Govind, the overall trend of the markets have been positive for around, the rally started in March. And from March onwards, we have seen a continuous higher and a higher low. So the overall trend has been positive from March onwards, from the very low levels of 6825. So the rally which has started from 6825 is still continuing. And lately what we have seen is the participation is seen from those sectors and stocks that were a major laggards. Now one classic example right now is Reliance Industries. Now everyone has been seeing the way Reliance Industries performed drastically in previous sessions, where it was up by nearly 10 to 12% in a single day. It's not very often that we see a stock like Reliance Industries going up by that much in a single day. So that and the other broader markets were taking a halt then. So what is happening is, this rally is a rotational rally where a specific stock or a specific sector performs well, which is helping index to move higher. So the overall sign is still healthy very much. And one sector that I would like to point out is probably an IT sector. It has been a very, very strong outperformer over the past few weeks, and it has happened on the back of negative news that has been flowing all around. May it be Infosys or TCS, there has been a lot of negative news right from US as well as the internal corporate governance issue. Despite of all those things, market are discounting that there will be good times ahead, and that's why IT stocks have been rallying. So what is driving this rally has been a rotational sector. So initially it was PSU banks, then now PSU banks have taken a halt. They are probably relieving their overbought zone, and now the flavor looks like an IT sector and probably Reliance, which is now going to drive the markets over next few weeks or months.
Right, Ashish, thanks for that. So if you look at the index heavyweights that have been driving this, so Ashish spoke about IT, and we're also seeing buybacks in IT, and we're also seeing telecom consolidation. So are these some of the specific facts that are driving some of these big stocks and therefore the index? And
in fact, when somebody was mentioning, we have a new hero every day in the capital markets. So it's been happening. Sometimes some Pharma company got their FDA clearance. Sometime, as you said, IT, there is some buybacks and are getting announced. Reliance, of course, came with the Geo plan, which market was not expecting. So we are having newer and newer heroes, and these are all large companies. So I think that has been a boon for the market. So I think, when the market is in a mood to spend money and invest, and you get some of these good news in the market, obviously it helps the cause of the rally.
Right. So just to come back to the point that you were making earlier, liquidity.
That's
so,
right.
In general, foreign institutional investors have been selling,
That's
while
right.
domestic investors, particularly through mutual funds, have been investing. How does it stand today, and what's really driving the market more amongst these two?
I think, it's a mix. You look at the HDFC Bank incidents. In a single day, within few hours, the foreign institutional investors poured in almost $2 billion. So, not $1.5 billion they poured in. So, I think the money is there and available with the foreign investors as well. So, they are ready to pour in money if there is a good cause. Domestic investors, of course, have been sitting in the sidelines for a very long time, and they have been investing with a vengeance. Look at what happened in Reliance. I think pretty much all the large funds, both domestic as well as international, were not having adequate reliance. So the moment it turned around, I think there was a scramble yesterday which we saw for Reliance. So I think both are there, liquidity is there, they will keep buying.
Right. Okay. So, Ashish, where does this take valuations? I mean, a lot of investors obviously get attracted by these levels, and we mentioned this in the beginning. We are very close to lifetime highs now, since the Nifty particularly, which is barely at 8939 right now, and the peak was 9003.
From the valuations perspective, I think it's not very cheap market as of now. Even Nifty PE has been at the higher levels from the average that we have seen around 17 or 18. So it's not very cheap market. So in this kind of a market, I think it's going to be a stock specific rally which is going to continue. The movement, Govind, which we saw in 2003 to 2008 was very, very different, where majority of the markets, majority of the stocks were participating. But in the current rally, which we are seeing over past few months, it has been a very, very rotational one. So it is a very typical and a peculiar rally that we are seeing. On the other hand, there has been a strong global movement that we are seeing. Dow Jones have been all over the places. It has continued to rise even after Trump coming into power. So, which was a major surprise for the world markets again. So, the rally is not localized. It has been a global rally. It has been a phenomenal rally across the globe. And I think India is now trying to catch up with that. So valuations, even if it becomes expensive, it's going to be irrational for some time, I suppose. And then the corporate earnings might catch up. The companies might start showing good returns despite of all the demonetization which has happened. If the corporate earnings start picking up again, then the valuations will automatically come down.
Okay, right. So, and the big question then is that how does this become an opportunity, particularly, let's say, for the government, which is looking at a lot of IPOs, it is looking at disinvesting. What's the best time to do it then, and how?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity. I think normally we find the government coming with all these disinvestments at a time where markets are not supportive. Now, the kind of liquidity we have in the market, investors are looking for good opportunities to invest money. If in these circumstances, government can come up with disinvestments, both strategic as well as IPOs, I think it will be a great opportunity for the government to get in a good amount of money through this source.
And what is the kind of window do you think they have now to do this?
Well, I think it's very, very difficult, Govind, to say. The market mood has to be right. Today, the market mood is right. So the government
But for IPOs as well? I mean, secondary might be good.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
But I'll tell you something, IPO normally from start to finish takes a lot of time.
Yes.
So I would say the government has to be opportunistic. This is an opportunity in front of you. So go ahead and start, doing OFS. Start doing, a strategic sale. I think that's a great opportunity. If you are planning to do some strategic sale, why not now? OFSs, it doesn't take time. Just do it.
Okay, great. So, Ashish, last word. What's your sense? How could this be an opportunity? Is this the right time to push ahead with a bunch of IPOs, particularly from the government stable?
Absolutely, there is no second thought going. The market sentiments have been extremely positive right now. The mood has been positive. We can look at what happened to the IPO of BSE. It was subscribed exponentially well. So during the bull run, when the markets are in a good mood, you will see a huge subscriptions which happens from the investors, and the listing also happens extremely well. So most of the IPOs that have been listed over past few months have done pretty good on the listing day at least. So I think it's the right time that government can start planning out very soon to probably diverse the stake what they want to do. That will help them to raise money, reduce the deficit, and it's definitely going to help pump in money within the economy, which is again going to generate jobs and employment. So we are in a very, very conducive stage as of now. Markets are very dynamic. I mean, it might change the direction in just a month's time and suddenly something comes up. So we need to be acting fast and quick so before the market changes its mood.
Thank you very much, Ashish. Thank you, Sudeep, for joining me. We need to go in for a break. Coming up on the other side, why is the infrastructure getting down-rated? We speak to KK Mohanty.